Welcome back, football fans. This is 19.5 presented to you by True Lion. Manchester United has finally signed Bryan Mbuemo for £65 million, 6 million in performance add-on. 6 7 weeks is finally gone. Now let's look at the player. Let's look at some of his stats. Let's start from 2022, 2023. 38 games, 9 goals. The next season, he played 25 games, 9 goals. Now, you guys remember Ivan Toney was suspended, then he finally left Brentford. So more responsibility was given to Bremo and Wisa, who's another player that might be leaving Brentford this season. And Buemo actually answered, especially last season, 2024-25. In 38 games, he scored 20 goals. 4 of those goals were scored with his weakest foot, which is the right foot. The other was his left foot. So we see some progression and we see why Mbuemo has been red hot this summer. Many teams wanted him. He wanted only to go to Manchester United, and that's what has happened. Now, he made a statement and he talked about his personality, his character, his work ethic. Okay? And we have seen that Mbuemo is someone, he spoke about his progression, and as you saw in the last slide, he was right about how he has progressed and how he has taken responsibility. Now, you know that a player does not play in isolation. They play in a team. And when you look at Brentford, Brentford has been a team that changes play styles, that plays according to the opponent under Thomas Frank. And if you look at these stats, it shows that Thomas Frank he has been with Brentford for 6 seasons. Okay, they were in the championship for 2 years when he got Mbuemo. He knows very much about Mbuemo, and they moved up the ranks. If you look at the amount of games he coached in Brentford, you see that he's used so many different formations. However, I'm interested in that 3-5-2 because that's a formation that Amorim actually uses also at Manchester United. But he didn't have the right players to actually fit and play in that formation. Now that it's the transfer window, we still have about a month to go before the league starts. He has the opportunity to make his score better. Mbuemo is actually the second signing that came in. But you see that Mbuemo is an intelligent player, okay? He can adapt to many different formations. As you have seen, his stats can actually prove that due to progression. So that's actually good going on for Manchester United because Manchester United is still finding that right formation. And a guy like Mbuemo, if you can play in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different type of formations, hey, that actually helps the coach, right? Now, let's look at some of his strengths. Penalty kick, he runs, he stops, he jumps a little bit, and he scores his penalty. So that's one of his strengths, that can only add to Luis Fernandez. Okay? Positioning, he positions himself very, very well. That's one of his strengths. That's why he's being able to score 20 goals, especially last season with 8 assists. High pressing, his work ethic is actually very good. Okay? He can defend and he can actually attack. That's his strength. However, it says that his control is one of his weaknesses. I'm not yet sure about that. I have to actually look into that to see if controlling is one of his weaknesses because I've seen him on one-on-one. If you leave him on one-on-one with defenders, most of those defenders cannot defend him on one-on-one. However, maybe 2 against 1, 3 against 1, but that will now depend on other players. Cunha, if Cunha can also be dangerous, can also be elusive, score more goals, it means Mbuemo will have many one-on-one opportunities, and that will lead to goal. He's also a center for a striker or a winger that's very strong. That's something we have not seen in recent years for Manchester United strikers or center forwards. They are not strong, they are not fast. That is an attribute that Mbuemo can bring for Manchester United because we've been having these discussions. A lot of people are not sure for these reasons. In recent years, most players that have gone, good players to Manchester United, have seen their form or their level of play actually dropped. So many people are saying that would that actually also happen for Mbuemo? Just keep in mind his market value. When I did a video about him. It's on my YouTube channel 9 months ago, and I was saying he was one of the most underrated wingers. Fast forward after a year, His market value is no longer 53 million euros, as reported by many websites. However, we just saw that what Manchester United actually paid for him. So he, in a very, very short amount of time, his market value has actually, have gone up. Well, it's not only him. If you see what the market value of many players is right now, you can say that, okay, maybe he actually deserves that amount of money. But the bigger, your transfer fee, the more pressure. So it's left on Mbuemo now to show if he's really psychologically strong, as he says. He will be wearing the number 19 shirt, the shirt that a former Cameroonian also wore at Manchester United. I just hope that what actually happened to German doesn't happen to him. However, those are two different players because character-wise, Mbuemo is level-headed, works hard for the team, and it's only when the EPL starts. Remember, their first game is against Arsenal. And Arsenal has also signed Gyökeres, the striker they have been going for a long, long time. Or they are about to sign him, but the deal has already been agreed. Now, what do you guys think? Let's have this discussion. What do you guys think? How do you think Mbuemo will perform at Manchester United? 19-5 by True Lion. Thank you for watching.